Good evening and welcome to the December 12th, 2024 regular meeting of the Chandler City Council. I'd like to call this meeting to the order. Clerk, please take the roll.
Hartke,
Here.
Vice Mayor Harris,
Here.
Councilmember Encinas,
Here.
Councilmember Ellis,
Here.
Councilmember Stewart,
Here.
Councilmember Orlando,
Here.
Councilmember Poston.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you so much. Our invocation tonight will be delivered by Pastor Victor Hardy of the Congregational Church of the Valley, the Congregational Church of the Valley, and our Pledge of Allegiance by outgoing Council Member Mark Stewart. Yeah, the outgoing.
Let us pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, which is a really good address. We come to you this evening to give you grace, the grace that you so richly deserve. We find ourselves in a season of discontent and distrust with each other, Christian or non-Christian, where we are in need of your love. We are in need of your loving arms. Although this is the time we give gifts, we already have your gift. You have given us life. You've given us love. You've given us joy. Dear Father, we thank you on this day that we reach out to each other and give the gift that you've given to us. Let us see each other as brothers and sisters, that we acknowledge each other in a way that no one else has ever done before. Let us see each other with the love that you've already given to us. And so we thank you, dear Father, for those who are in our leadership. We also thank you for those whom are on our streets, looking for the disenfranchised, looking for those whom are thirsty, are hungry, and need shelter. We thank you for our first responders, each and every one of them. We thank you for all of those families whom watch their loving family members go out and they may never see again. But we look up to you for the joy that you continue to give to us, all the grace that you continue to look forward to in us, that we see in a future that tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow is all in your hands, that we see you first, and that our leadership judge to you first before making a decision for each and every one of us. We thank them for the joy and for the things that they do for us. So we look forward to this time, a season of giving in which you've already given to us. Let us be joyful and let us respond to those whom are not sing the joy of this time of the season. Let them look forward to you to find that joy, to find the words to say that they love each and every one of us, that we love them. If they are looking for love, let them find it within your word and in your joy. And yes, I know I said joy a lot because we need it. We need the laughter, we need the grace. And we see you as we see you looking down upon us. And we thank you, Lord. And all in agreement said, Amen.
Amen.
That was perfect, Pastor. Thank you. Please join me in honoring our nation and flag with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Councilmember Stewart. Council, next on our agenda is the consent agenda. We probably had a dozen presentations and questions related to this on Monday. Unless there is a desire to pull any item for action, a motion would be in order.
Mayor,
Councilmember Stewart.
thank you. I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda for Thursday, December 12th, 2024.
And is there a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. No recusals or any other actions. Please vote.
Vice Mayor Harris,
Yes.
motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you. Sorry, Councilmember Cenas, it's his last meeting. Yeah.
He's moved. He's been eyeing this chair.
Yeah. Next is our action item, resolution number 5846, amending the citywide feed schedule. Is there a motion?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion at this time for
Okay.
this item. I move to adopt resolution number 5846, amending the city's fee schedule relating to the community services, cultural development, development services, fire and public works, and utility departments with fees changes effective January 1st, 2025.
We've got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions or conversations?
Mayor.
Councilmember Stewart.
Go ahead, Jane.
Councilmember Stewart.
I'm going to cede to the outgoing council member.
Thank you very much. Mayor, I will be voting no on this item for a couple of reasons. One, we have a surplus in our budget right now, and I don't think now is the time to raise taxes on our residents when we do have a good base budget. And we've been doing great planning for years, and that's a testament to the great work that our financial team is doing. But the timing's not right. I'd love to see this move to next year or something like that, but I'll be voting no.
Okay. And you meant raising fees, not taxes, right? Since this isn't raising taxes?
Thank you for the correction, Mayor.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but thank you.
Okay. Any additional comments? Councilmember Poston.
Actually, that kind of leads into the question that I had, because I maybe the city manager or the budget director can answer the question about the surplus that you're talking about, because that's actually going around on social media as well. And I don't believe that's accurate. So if we could clarify where that's coming from, if we have a $16 million surplus, we should be revisiting with our bond committee, because I'd like to see that go to our infrastructure and bring those dollars down a little bit. But if you could clarify.
Sure. Yeah, I can start, council member, and if there's more detail, certainly our deputy city manager, CFO, can add to that. So Mayor, Councilor Poston, thank you for the question. I think it's important to understand the difference here. We talk about surpluses between ongoing and one-time revenues. So we talk about any sort of surplus at the end of a fiscal year, we're talking about one-time dollars. We're talking about how we can reinvest that into cash funding projects. And that does offset, to your point, lowering some of the things we would have to bond for. So it goes right back into services. I think we also need to look at where we've been in the economy these last few years and what's coming on the horizon. And we're looking at some very different pictures here. So the past few years, we've seen a lot of inflation, a lot of growth. We've also had some very large projects that were driving one-time revenue into the city budget. And I want to emphasize one-time revenue into our budget. So things like Intel's expansion puts a tremendous amount of permit revenue. It puts construction sales tax. We treat that as one time because we know that project is going to come to an end, and we're not going to see that money repeating every year. And so we'd be very judicious about how we spend that. And that goes back into capital or one-time expenses. When we're talking about fees, those are ongoing revenues. We use that to budget for how we provide services, how we pay staff, how we open and operate our facilities. And that's what you're talking about here. With the fees that are proposed for adjustment here, particularly around community services, this comes from the council's policy direction to us over the last year and a half of what fees you want to look at. And these are not fees that are aimed at hitting the individual resident in the pocketbook. These are aimed at either benefiting our residents, and we have quite a few of these that are actually either lowering costs or clarifying costs for our residents, Or in some cases, it's making it that if there is an exclusive use of a facility, that it is excluding everyone else in the community from benefiting from that public facility because there is a private event, that should be closer to paying the actual cost to running that particular program or service or facility. So that's what we're talking about here. We're not talking about things that are actually going to take away from the individual here or cost them more money. In fact, quite the opposite with a number of these fees. So without knowing the specific number of a surplus or where that's derived from, which I can't tell you, that number doesn't stand out to me, 16 million. But that is the way that we treat ongoing versus one-time revenues. And certainly Ms. Lang can provide additional detail on top of that.
So I'd like to continue the conversation, but I think Councilmember Stewart would like to clarify just to make sure that you're answering probably the correct question.
Okay.
Sure, that was a lot. I was trying to take some notes there. So just to be clear, the budget that you send out in the West memo every month, the last month, I didn't look at it this month. We were $16 million over our forecasted budget. So we had, I don't remember what the number was, but it was about $16 million that we were coming in over in revenue what we had budgeted to spend for the fiscal year. So that means that money was not earmarked for anything as far as I could tell. So that was the main reason for this discussion. And Josh, to your point about there's some fees that are going up, there's some fees that are getting moved. We talked about that as well when I asked if these could each be separated out. So for example, we're going to raise the fees at the pools. We're going to raise the fees with some of the kids things. I'm sorry.
No, we are not.
So thank you. So there are some fees that are going up with regard to our parks, and maybe it wasn't the pools, but it was something else. And we want to keep those level for our kids. So my point is that when I asked to have each one of these different things broken out, I was told no, because there are some that I want to vote for, right? I think they're good for us. And that was the motion that I made in the last meeting. Now there are others that I don't think we should be taking a price increase on, right? Whether you want to call it a fee or a tax, it's still more of a burden on the taxpayer. When it's what I've seen is that we were $16 million in revenue over what we projected to have, which means that we've got an extra $16 million. Is that a fair assessment?
So,
Let me just,
okay.
to be abundantly clear,
Yes.
we are not raising pool admission fees in the fee
I
schedule
understand that,
we're
yeah.
voting on
I
tonight. I want to make
misspoke.
sure that's very
No,
clear.
I got it. Yep.
That was direction not to do that by the council, and that is not part of what you're.
From that, okay,
Yeah.
right.
So that is not included here. What I think is important, and again, Ms. Lang can provide some other description around this, is every month, every quarter, we provide you with some financial updates. We also post those online in the interest of transparency to our residents. That is a rolling total. So you're going to see that ebb and flow and adjust throughout the year as to how we're doing. We have some major changes on the horizon. And in fact, if you look at a more zoomed out trend, you're actually seeing the revenue curve, if you will, flatten after the last few years. So we are not going to likely see those gains we saw with surpluses or whatever it may have been in one-time dollars in the future. What you're actually seeing is things like Intel's expansion come to an end at the end of 2025. That will stop putting that permit and transaction privilege tax fee revenue into our budget. You're also going to see the end of residential rental sales tax, which is again an ongoing source of revenue. So that sunsets at the end of this calendar year. So you're actually seeing a flattening of that curve, not it continuing to go upward. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Lang to provide further clarification.
Can I address that since you were addressing the points real quick? On the residential rental tax, though, we built that into the budget for this year, right?
Yes, Ms.
Okay,
Stewart,
and then
so we did
on the
plan
Intel expansion, the 11 billion that's coming just to Chandler should keep the kind of the ball on top of the water, right, as it relates to impact fees and things like that. And we haven't had a chance to vet this out, but I understand all the things you're talking about, but the economy here is strong, right? And we don't want to give the impression to the public that it's not. I would imagine that is not the case. So year after year, we've had budget surplus when we look at the West memos, and we've talked about this a million times. And while we don't want to hash this out maybe on the dais, I tried to do this in other meetings, but that's the point of my, so maybe we, go ahead.
All right, let me recognize Dawn to speak here.
Okay, through the chair. Councilmember Stewart, just to address the reports that are out so far is through October, and we are 10 million over budget. And the way we come up with that is we compare, because it's an adopted budget, And like Josh was mentioning, our revenues ebb and flow depending on activity happening within our city boundaries and inflation, as you've stated before. So this just shows 3 months worth of activity. And if you look at that 3 months, in order to determine how much we are over, we look at the historical trend of how much we receive typically in the first 3 months for the last 4 years. We do a 4-year average. And the historical trend, for instance, shows 1.3 million in construction permit revenue. And so far we're at almost 5 million in construction permit revenue. So that is a large permit that got pulled in the first quarter that we typically don't have those large permits pulled in the first quarter of the last 4 years. So that's kind of an example of how it will look big all of a sudden. But we already have we've kind of looked out and set our forecast for the entire year. And we believe that come January, after the Christmas bubble, and residential rental is no longer being collected, that will start to go down. And we've built that in our forecast, and that trend, that historical trend, will hopefully come in alignment as the months continue. But again, you have to dig into those numbers because that's a one-time revenue, and that is not something we can use to support the operations of our city and the activities that happen within our parks and everything. So we really, kind of like Josh was saying, we got to look at the difference between that ongoing and those one-time revenues. That helped.
Okay.
Mayor.
So
Mayor.
Councilmember Stewart finished, then Councilmember Poston. And guys, I think after that, I'm going to call the question because you can just vote on it
Yeah.
accordingly.
Yeah,
So-
I'm sorry, and I stepped on your question, council member.
And I wanted you to be able to clarify.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, a good discussion, but I did just have one more question and then a
Councilmember
clarification. Thank you, Mayor. My only other question was, we've been talking about this for quite some time. I was on the subcommittee a year and a half ago, and then it made news, and so this has been out there. I'm hoping. I think our communications office has been out there, putting out there. Have we been getting any residents? Have residents responded to us? Do we have concerns? I think that's who we really need to be responsive to.
Through the mayor, Councilmember Poston, we have done significant outreach. Our community services directors actually met with stakeholders, and other staff have met with stakeholders and talked about these fees. There has been an open dialogue box on our website where our public fee posting is, and we have gotten no opposition. I was looking over because since they didn't go through last time to today, I just want to make extra sure, but we still have not received any opposition to the fees that are
And you
being
talked to some
proposed.
stakeholders as well.
Yes,
Okay.
our director has.
All right.
Mhm.
My just final comment is that I think, just based on this discussion, it would be, I think, prudent for us as a council to look at this in conjunction with the budget. When we're managing the overarching budget, I think it would be a better fit there. I don't know if we can adjust when we look at these, or if the other council members would agree with that, but it seems like it would make more sense to have that bigger picture as we're voting on fees like this.
I have a motion at the table, Mayor, on what we're gonna do with that.
I am engaging this room and we're continuing the discussion until someone calls the question, but I'm not recognizing you yet because I have others to do that. Vice Mayor Harris.
Yes, Mayor, I believe what Councilmember Stewart is referring to is our actual budget versus the forecasted projected budget. And the actual budget is what the year-to-date will finally adjust everything to. But when you're looking at the regular memos that's going out, they do project up and down because of the fact it's based on the spending and based on what's coming in. And so at the end of the day, some months are going to look more prominent, but at the end of the year to date, everything should get into full alignment. But if you do look at the budgets now and you follow the memos now, they're going to look up and down. So he's not entirely wrong with what he's saying. It's just when you look at it now versus you see it to the end of the day, then you'll see it fully come into alignment. And I think his statement is not incorrect in terms of the what he's seeing in terms of the surplus. But I do believe that when the year-to-date ends, it will align and it will finally fizzle off. And whatever the actual or the overage will roll into the next budget. So thank you, Mayor.
All right. Well, Council, I'm gonna call the question and let's just vote and let
Do
your
you care if I say just one more thing? It's a nice thing.
finish it off.
So, no, I appreciate it.
Mayor,
So
Mayor,
listen,
point of order,
on the
point of order, Mayor, point of order,
last thing that I wanted to say.
Mayor,
about
point
this-
of order, which supersedes that. We call for the question, all debate is stopped, and we vote, correct?
Mayor, if I may, Councilmember Orlando, that is correct. The mayor's parliamentarian who also was the one that called the question. I do believe he can allow one statement, but you are correct. And technically, all debate should stop.
All right. Council, you can make any additional statements at the end. So let's just vote on this.
Vice Mayor Harris,
No.
motion carries by majority with Councilmember Stewart and Vice Mayor Harris dissenting.
Great. Okay. Do we have any unscheduled public appearances?
Mayor, I have not received any cards.
Okay. Council will go into current events. Got a few great things happening. This Saturday, as was announced previously, we do have the Wreaths Across America event happening at Valley of the Sun. The Exchange Club and volunteers from across the East Valley will gather for the annual Wreaths Across America event. This event pays tribute to those who have served our country with volunteers, placing wreaths adorning red bows on the graves of veterans in cemeteries across the United States. Here in Chandler, we will gather at the Valley of the Sun Cemetery to honor our veterans, and I encourage you all to join us. I want to thank our Exchange Club community members for their commitment and dedication to this important cause. Secondly, just to remind everyone, is the reason for the season is the opportunity to share joy, and I think the best way we receive joy is bringing joy to others. So with the joy of the holidays in full swing in Chandler, there's many ways that you can give back. Some of these opportunities are our Golden Neighbors, our third annual Golden Neighbors holiday celebration, which is Wednesday, December 18th. We will be connecting with and supporting the seniors in our community and are accepting donations through Monday. Our Chandler Library Community Care Tree is also accepting donations through December 16th, and you can stop by any of our library locations to help neighbors. Our fire department is hosting their annual Stuff the Truck toy drive, and there are 2 more days to participate, so you can drop off a new unwrapped toy and gift cards at the Chandler fire stations through Friday to support families in need of the holidays, or pick your own favorite nonprofit, or make a difference by noticing the needs in your neighborhood. The opportunities are boundless, but I do encourage you to take some time to serve others as we celebrate the magic of this holiday season. Councilmember Encinas.
Thank you, Mayor. Thanks for my time. I am going to be announcing, just wrapping up this December, wrapping up my second year, my first of my 4-year term here, and I wanted to hold a town hall for our residents here in Chandler, which I had last night at the Chandler Museum. There I was able to discuss what we've done as a council in the last 2 years, and as well, I wanted to hear from residents on what in the next 2 years I can help assist with them, whether they have concerns, suggestions, or anything they want to just see done in the next 2 years. And I want to be part of that difference and sharing that with you guys as well. So we had a great turnout at the museum yesterday. I got a lot of input and a lot of praise for us as a council on what we've done in these last 2 years that I can share with you guys. And I also left the town hall with a great list of items that we can work on together, as well as with city manager. So I appreciate all the residents that came out to the museum to share their input, get engaged with us here on council. And I want to just wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Ellis.
Thank you, Mayor. 2024 has been a really busy year for so many, and great year also, but for some it has not been. And so I am grateful to say that I will encourage every single one of you to hold your family a little bit tighter this season. Spend some time with those you have not seen in a while. If you need to make that phone call, please make it. Life is too short. Um, we have been sitting here making a lot of decisions that have affected a lot of people's lives. 289,000 of you have given us the power to speak over your lives, to do different things for you as we sit here to make those decisions. Um, it is not without great, I will say, gratitude that I want to thank the people of Chandler for giving me another 4 years to sit here to do this again for you. I guarantee you, I will not take it for granted. Another thing that I will want to make sure that you understand every single day that I get up and I come here to City Hall, I see you, I hear you, and I want to do what's best for you, what's best for this city. Because at the end of the day, I will never want to be here to do anything if it's not for the love of Chandler. So, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy New Year's. If we have not seen you before the New Year, come in. And to all my colleagues up here, it has been such a pleasure working with every single one of you. I pray for you all, and I pray that we will come back with more wisdom, with more understanding, and more love for each other. Because when the head is sick, the whole body is sick. And if the head is healed, the whole body is healed. And so that's what I would like to give to the people of Chandler, that we will continue to work together as a team, and then so that the city can continue to flourish and continue to move forward together. Thank you again, Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to finish this year strong and stronger than I started it. Appreciate you all. Thank you.
Councilmember Stewart.
Thank you, Mayor. It wouldn't be, even though it's my last meeting, it wouldn't be a meeting if I wasn't kicking and screaming about fee increases and tax increases, right? So I appreciate you guys indulging me in my last meeting with that. And I know we are in a great place financially, and I know that the people that are working up here on this dais are going to do great things moving forward into 2025 and beyond. But you know what I'm really excited about
What?
is Faith and Family Holiday Tradition at the park this Saturday. You heard that right. We are going to have a holiday traditions event at our park where we're celebrating Faith and Family of Chandler. We will have students that will provide musical events and singing and things like that. There'll be craft stations and things like that for the kids, but it'll be a great celebration. There'll be food trucks as well. But Saturday from 1 to 3, bring your loved ones to AJ Chandler Park, bring a blanket, a lawn chair, and enjoy a festive, fun, music-filled celebration. And it'll celebrate the rich holidays of Christmas, Hanukkah, and other cultural celebrations. So we look forward to seeing you there. I will certainly be there, and I'm excited about it. But thanks again, everybody. Have a great Christmas. Have a great Hanukkah. Have a great holiday season. And thank you again. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Councilmember Orlando.
You know what I'm excited about, Mayor?
The Chiefs?
It's budgets. No, it's budget time this year, folks. And every year we do a survey. Many cities don't do this, quite frankly. I was looking at a couple of my colleagues around the valley, and they don't have this process that we've had for a long time. So kudos to our staff. We're always looking for the input. Some years we'll get 5, 6, we had 1,000 one year. So we're really, but you go online, I believe I don't have the website right here, but you go on the chandleraz.gov and you can fill out the survey. And this year we actually have a little bit different. Instead of saying things are satisfactory, unsatisfactory, we actually have a little pull down box. You could actually add different comments of what you feel we should be concentrating on for next year. So take that survey. It's available in online, as I indicated earlier, paper copies in English, Spanish, and Mandarin, and New Jerseyan. So if you want, I could help translate for you folks. So it's critical for us. And again, I want to thank you for your contribution to this. It really, really does help us sort out what the priorities are. And as everyone else up here said, Mark, we'll see you next month to say goodbye officially. But thank you. It's been a pleasure serving with you. And I remember the first time I met you at a coffee shop, and you came in all, Matt, I don't know. It's a long thing. It's a big thing to do. Can I pick your brain a little bit? And I wanted to pick, you wanted to pick in my brain. I wanted to pick in your brain. So it's been a pleasure working with you. And we'll say more next week or next month. Thank you. Real quick, I don't know if I have more wisdom next year in January, but I'll be a year older. So I don't know if that counts, but we'll take that. Have a great, safe holiday, and we'll see you in January.
City Manager, does our translator translate New Jerseyan? Is that one of the recognized?
Yeah.
I'm available.
I still can't figure out what they're saying.
I'm available.
Something about gabagool. I don't know.
Gabagool. See you already.
Councilmember Poston.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm excited that we are so lucky in Chandler to have such a great partner in the Chandler Gilbert Community College. Over the years, I have watched them over and over respond to the current workforce needs, and they've done it yet again with AI. So I was fortunate enough to attend an event last week as they were kicking off their Empowered for Student Success campaign. So at this event, where I was there with their mascot, they unveiled that they have a new bachelor's degree in AI and machine learning. So the students will have really these in-demand, cutting-edge skills, and it's going to open doors to high-paying, rewarding careers in fields from healthcare, finance, and autonomous systems. So this is the first of its kind at a community college in the United States, and it highlights the commitment to supporting cutting-edge educational opportunities. So it will support the growing technology and innovation job market that we have here in Chandler. And congratulations to CGCC, and I want to thank them for letting me be a part of that announcement. It's very exciting for our students, and it's so great to have them right here in our community. And then the other announcement I had is, Mayor, you're at least one of these, was that we had a couple of really neat announcements right in our downtown Chandler area. We are so lucky to have these businesses grow and expand. So Spin the Bottle and Maple House both had big events this week, and they had some ribbon cutting. So we cut a ribbon, there it is, right there at Spin the Bottle, and that is a boutique wine store right on Boston. Then we also celebrated 1 year of Maple House, bringing coffee and cocktails to the downtown community. And both of these are expansions and new opportunities for businesses that have already found success in downtown Chandler. So it is a great reminder for this time of year to please continue to choose Chandler and shop locally. And so please, as I wish everyone Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, please remember to choose Chandler and shop local. It's so important to our local business owners and our Chandler community. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. City Manager, and do we have any idea how many were at the Tumbleweed Tree Parade and Lighting? Have you heard anything?
Mayor, I have not seen the official attendance figure yet, unless somebody here has it. How many? There you go, 12 to 13,000. I knew Kim would know. Yes. Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Just wanted to wish everyone as well a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. Unfortunately for me, Hanukkah this year starts the same day as Christmas, which means I can't get my shopping done and out of the way earlier than everybody else and avoid the mad dash. So I'm going to be right there competing with you to get all the gifts that I forgot to buy and I should have bought a long time ago. So, but happy holidays to everybody. There's also another holiday sometimes people forget in December, and that's Councilmember Encinas' birthday is next week. So happy birthday, Councilmember Encinas, in advance. Yes, and yeah. And again, thank you, Mayor and Council, for a great 2024. We appreciate all your support of Team Chandler, our staff, all the projects, all the wonderful initiatives that we have. We look forward to an exciting 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, City Manager. Thank you all. Thank you, staff, for really making our job so much more knowledgeable, informed, and confident that as we go out into the community that we know it's whether first responders or housing or pick your group, that our community is well served. So we are appreciative of all the work that you all do. With that,